Usually it's to these doors here, sometimes past them. I've never eaten there, but my writers have told me they have, and say the food's good. I don't know about you, I wouldn't wait in a line like that to get a table unless the food was good. Anyway, coming up here on our left is the Majestic Theater. The Majestic Theater opened in 1929 and was the largest movie theater in Texas, as well as the first to be air conditioned. If you look at the ticket booth here in the middle, the original one, that's what the inside looks like. It's just beautifully carved all over. The interior lives up to its name. Though it's no longer used as a theater, movie theater rather, it is used in concerts, Broadway shows, and other events. Though I have to say, 1 or 2 weekends a year, it is used as a movie theater. In March of this year, they showed the movie Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets there. The soundtrack was performed live by our San Antonio Philharmonic Orchestra. This building on the right is the Gunter Hotel. It was built in 1909 and was the Ranchers Hotel where they'd make deals with other ranchers and politicians. Some famous guests that have stayed here include U.S. President Harry S. Truman, actor John Wayne, and First Ladies Nancy Reagan and Lady Bird Johnson. As we cross this bridge, notice the 4 pillars, 2 on each side. They represent the other 4 Spanish missions here. Notice the top of each pillar is different. That is a reproduction of the bell tower at the church at that mission. Normally our next stop would be stop number 8. Okay. You need to get on the right side of the road. Do you think some of them want to get run over? Normally our next stop would be stop number 8, the San Fernando Cathedral, but because of construction at Main and Commerce, they don't want us going down there. So we relocated that stop to Aftermarket Square. Stop number 9, Historic Market Square, is the largest Mexican market outside of Mexico with 110 shops. If you were to look at every single item in every single shop, I'm reasonably sure you would probably find something that you did not know you could not live without. Some of the vendors like to haggle with you on the price, so if you look at something and it's $30, they may say, well, will you give me $29? Will you give me $28? See? Anyway, the market was originally an open-air farmer's market. It was enclosed in I believe the early 70s, if I recall correctly. And they have several restaurants there, as well as an art gallery. One of the restaurants is Mi Tierra Cafe. Their motto for many years was "We never close." They were open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Unfortunately, COVID put an end to that. One of the others is La Margarita, and I understand their specialty is a giant margarita. This bridge we're getting ready to cross here is the first bridge on the tour that does not cross the San Antonio River. This is the San Pedro Creek, and about a mile to our right upstream is where Mission San Antonio de Valero de Alamo was originally established in 1718. As we pass the stop sign up here, you can look to the left across Ben Milam Park and see the Market Square. It's painted, well, the paint has faded some, but it is still relatively bright. Our stop is going to be on the other side of that walk. The park here is named after Ben Milam, who led the Texas troops that captured San Antonio in 1835. It was originally a cemetery for the church, and this curved wall up here on the left, on the inner side, has plaques listing the names of the people who were buried in the cemetery. When it was turned into a cemetery, most of the graves were relocated. At the end of the park to the left, you see a pink granite marker with a statue on top. That stands at the head of Ben Milam's grave. Now, most of the graves were relocated To me, that does not mean we moved all of them within miles. It means we left a few. How many? Nobody's really sure. This building, this park, has an interesting connection to the Alamo in that I said earlier that after the Battle of the Alamo, Santa Anna ordered all the bodies of the defenders burned. Well, one of the defenders was a man named Gregorio Esparza. He had a brother in Santa Anna's army. So after the battle, his brother went to Santa Anna and asked for permission to bury Gregorio's body. He was granted that permission as a reward for remaining a loyal Mexican soldier, and Gregorio was buried in that cemetery. I'm a little bit of a cynic. I've wondered, did they have one brother on the Texas side and one brother on the Mexican army, so that whichever side won, the family would come out on the right side? That's my inner cynic showing through. Here's some more pillar art, like we saw over near the Pearl. The second one from the left shows a young lady with her face painted up for Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. Look, it's celebrated right after Halloween, and locals will build altars to the memories of their departed loved ones. As we come up to the corner, if you look to the left, you'll see a basketball court, 2 ping pong tables, 2 tables with swing seats, and some benches. This is the first instance of a pedestrian-friendly area underneath an elevated freeway. Unfortunately, it's probably going to remain unique because most of the elevated freeway in town is either not accessible by foot or is being used as a parking lot. If you look across this green area to the right, those buildings belong to the University of Texas at San Antonio, or UTSA. UTSA was established in 1969, and it is San Antonio's largest public university, with 4 campuses that cover over 750 acres. As we come around the corner, come out from under the freeway, this building on the left was an open-air farmers market until the 1980s, and every year the priests would come from San Fernando and they would hold an event there called the Blessing of the Animals. People would bring their pets. You got the normal dogs and cats, the occasional gerbil, mouse, or bat. One year, a guy brought his 8-foot-long boa snake wrapped around his shoulders. As you can guess, not very many people stood anywhere near him. I felt sorry for the priest that had to bless it, especially if he was as scared of snakes as I am. I felt really sorry for him. Yeah, nobody's, I think there may be 2 brave souls that walked up to him to see it. Not me. 18 years old? No, thank you. Okay, we're now at stop number 9, Historic Market Square. Does anybody want to get out here? Y'all want to continue on? Okay, continue on it is here. Okay. Our next stop is going to be our relocated stop number 8 for San Fernando Cathedral. The sanctuary walls were built between 1738 and 1750, making it one of the oldest cathedrals in the United States. It has 2 connections to the Alamo. In 1831, Alamo defender James Bowie married his wife Ursula Veramendi there. And in 1836, after the Battle of San Jacinto, Juan Seguin returned to San Antonio and gathered up the ashes of the defenders' bodies. He took them to the church and buried them in front of the altar. Well, they were pretty much forgotten about. As one of the last surviving veterans of San Jacinto, he was interviewed by the local newspaper in the mid-1880s, and he told them what he'd done with the ashes. For nearly half a century, his words were dismissed as the ramblings of a senile old man who didn't know what he was talking about. In 1936, when they were doing some work on the church, they had to dig in front of the altar. And what do you suppose they found when they dug? The ashes right where Ron said he left them. They were placed on display for a while, and then remains were put into a white marble sarcophagus that sits at the far left end of the foyer of the church. Our temporary stop for the cathedral is located directly in front of our historic 1891 Bexar County Courthouse building. It was designed by architect Alfred Giles and it's actually the oldest courthouse building in Texas that is still in use as a courthouse. There are a few courthouse buildings that are older, but they have all been repurposed and a new courthouse building has been built. Does anybody want to get off here? No? Okay. No. Welcome aboard. Watch your step. Please watch out for this half step here on the left. Nobody wants to stumble over that and go to the emergency room. That's the... Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. We do ask you please remain seated and hold on while the trolley is in motion. Also, please keep your arms and belongings inside the windows, as well as watch out for low-hanging branches and other objects that might come through. A while back, we had a bird fly in one window, flew through the trolley and out the other window. And I wish somebody had gotten a picture of that, because that would have been, but everybody was as shocked as me. Anyway, normally our next stop will be stop number 10, Hemisphere Park and the Tower of the Americas in La Villa. Because of construction on Alamo Street, however, we do not have a safe place to drop people off at. So if you do want to go there, when we get to stop number 1, when you get off the trolley, walk toward past the front of the trolley. The next street is Alamo Street. If you make a left turn there, La Villa is a block and a half on the right. And just past that at the next street is a walkway that takes you through the park to the base of the Tower of the Americas. La Villa was originally a collection of huts that Spanish soldiers lived in who had wives from the nearby missions. And as European immigrants moved in, they built different styles of homes. It became a slum during the early 20th century and was restored by the Works Progress Administration during the Great Depression. It is now a artist community with shops where you can find everything from jewelry, fabric arts, paintings, pretty much anything you probably would like to find. This hotel here on the right was built for the World's Fair in 1968, which we call Hemisphere, which coincided with the 250th anniversary of the founding of San Antonio. This hotel was built in 222 days, and how they built it so quickly was all of the rooms were built and furnished off-site and trucked in. They were picked up with the crane, set in place, so all the workers had to do was come in, bolt it to the framework, hook up the sewer, water, and electrical connections, and they were done. There was a rumor that you could check into your room on the ground floor and ride it up on the crane. That wasn't true, but it had an element of truth in it. The last room that was put into place, the construction company's owner and his wife rode up in it. That's where that tale came from. I heard the reason he had his wife come with him was because all of his employees loved his wife, and he wasn't quite well liked by some of his employees. I think it was an insurance policy. Look over the Tower of the Americas that was built for the World's Fair also at 750 50 feet tall. It's the tallest occupiable structure in San Antonio. There is an open observation deck at the upper part of the saucer that you can ride an elevator for a fee. There's also a restroom in the lower part of it, which I understand if you're going there, they waive the fee for the elevator. Yeah, I got news why. The restaurant's really expensive. That's why they waive it. Anyway, on the right is our convention center. It's 1.5 million square feet and hosts about 300 events a year. It's named after Henry B. Gonzalez, who was the first Hispanic elected to Congress from San Antonio.